Welcome back. I got a Gordon Harbor Freight multi-tool here on the right about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and last week I got the Leatherman Wave Plus off of eBay. I got a great deal on it. I'm pretty excited. I'll talk about the cost in a few minutes, but right up front I just want to talk about the tools because I have them out. As you can see, these are pretty much identical. You have the flat and Phillips screwdriver, the Leatherman proprietary Leatherman bits, bottle opener slash can opener slash there's a wire stripper right here. On this side we have the, you can see scissors, the glasses screwdriver, it's flathead and Phillips, and then a flathead screwdriver here. It's also a pry bar. That's the outside. As you can see, it is exactly identical on the Leatherman. Don't need to really go over it again. This is, I will say though that this bit stays in with pressure. There's a little notch taken out. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little notch taken out right here and there on both sides, and that's what locks it in here on the Leatherman versus the Gordon. It uses a magnet to keep it in, and the magnet seems to be strong enough, no problems, keeps it in. Okay, those are the inside tools. Let's close this up. I want to do the first test, which is for me the squeeze test, and there's a little more movement on the Gordon Harbor Freight versus the Leatherman Wave. There's still a tiny bit of movement on the Harbor Freight, but there's significantly more when I squeeze the Gordon. I've talked to a handful of people that say don't stress about that, it's just the way it is. It's just something that I notice. Next up, on the outside here, the Gordon Harbor Freight multi-tool does come with this deep carry pocket clip, and it is extremely deep carry. You can see the peak of it is higher than the multi-tool, so it'll sit nice and deep in a pocket, and it is removable. But I did try it. I found out this will not fit onto the Leatherman Wave. Now to the outside tools, I'll just run through this real fast. Saw, serrated slash gut hook, wood file, and then a diamond file on that side, and then here we have the regular straight knife. We have the serrated, we have the saw, we have a file, and we have the straight blade. Pretty much identical. The real difference is there's a gut hook on the serrated blade, which I've never really used a gut hook. That I've used it to cut string once or twice, but only in tests, so I don't know how big of a deal it is. Let's actually do a test right now. By the way, this is the most aggressive saw blade I've ever seen on a multi-tool. It almost punctured my thumb the first time I opened it up. All right, let's just do a quick test here. Just some black string I have in my garage. All right, it cuts it pretty easily. Let's do the serrated blade. Very nice cut, nice sharp knife. Let's do the same thing with the serrated blade on the Leatherman. There's no gut hook on this, so I can't test that, but boom. I think that's even definitely sharper than the Gordon. People love to see how sharp a blade is, so we'll cut this. This is just an ad I got in the paper. Very sharp. Very, very sharp. That was the Gordon multi-tool from Harbor Freight. This is the Leatherman. Oh, that is significantly sharper. Well, all right, next up, let's just do some quick tests here with the tools. I'm told people want to see the tools in motion, so let us mess with these screwdrivers. I'm just gonna use the Gordon multi-tool here. Very, very easy to use. Now we'll use the Leatherman flat Phillips screwdrivers. Very easy to use. Let's switch over now to using the flathead screwdrivers slash pry bar, and very easy. Let's see, does it even fit in here? Yep. Oh, you know what? I will tell you, using this, when I went to twist, I put my thumb on this side and it pivoted, and you could feel the give. That is a fair amount of give. Let's see how the Leatherman does. All right, let's do the exact same test. Putting my thumb on the opposite piece of the handle, there is no give there. It is very tight, very nice. The Leatherman definitely beats the Gordon multi-tool there. I'm really happy I did this test. Next step, we're going to test some hard wire, see how the cutters work. Oh, that worked nicely. Let's do a bigger piece. Yeah, it worked okay. I'm not gonna say it was great. Let's try the Leatherman. Oh yeah. Well, by the way, let's try it a little bit higher up and see what happens. Ow, that worked really well, and I just pinched the heck out of my hand. Ooh, that hurts. That's a lesson learned right there, folks. No more wire cutting with these Leatherman at the moment, and they just got a lot tighter, by the way, like this, doing that wire cutting. Ow, that's gonna be a blood blister. All right, you know what? I don't want to cut any more wire. Can't imagine why. All right. Next thing to cover are these sheaths that come with the tools. Honestly, they are nearly identical. This one just says Leatherman, Gordon. This says Leatherman, this one doesn't. The stitching is almost identical. The Gordon does have elastic here versus the Leatherman does not, so there's gonna be less give. Let's jump into my likes and dislikes. Really, it's just likes, honestly, about these tools. These both feel pretty darn good in the hand, I will say. I'll be perfectly honest, I like them both a lot. But when I first got the Gordon, if you look on this side of the, when I went to close it each and every time, there was some friction and it scratched it here. No big deal. I don't mind scratches. My tools are to be used, not babied, so I don't have a problem with it. It just was a defect in the way it was built. It was scraping up against the flat screwdriver here when every time it went in, and a few times it didn't even want to close properly. Let's jump in. There are 20 tools on the Gordon, 18 on the Leatherman. The extra tools are a glass breaker, which I forgot to mention earlier. It's just a tiny ball bearing, it looks like, and the gut hook on the serrated blade. Oh, you know what? Nice safety feature. You can't open the blades without closing the tool. So, yep, there's the gut hook right there. All right, that's kind of it on the tool differences. The Gordon feels cheaper, I'll be perfectly honest. It does not feel as good, but it feels good. I like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you're not doing heavy duty work or you're not using it all the time. If you're just throwing it in a glove box, this is a great tool. If you're giving it to a kid, it's a great tool. I love that it comes with a pocket clip. I wish the Leatherman did. One big difference, the Leatherman was a lot sharper and it feels better in the hand. It just feels like a stronger, better, more versatile, more robust tool that's not gonna break under heavy use. This feels like you could get through a heavy duty project with it, and that might be it. This feels like you'll do heavy projects every weekend with it and you'll still be able to pass it down to your kids. I got this off eBay for $62. It was so new when I got it. It still had the black powder coating that came off on my hands and made me realize I got the deal of a lifetime. It's $120 retail, and the only thing I didn't get was the packaging. The Gordon, on the other hand, is $40, and I think that's okay for it. I think it's a bit pricey compared to some of the Byberry tools, but it's still fine. But it just doesn't feel as good. And for me paying $22 more for a Leatherman, granted, this was off eBay, so you don't always know what you're gonna get, and I was very happily surprised when I got a pretty much brand new multi-tool. I got the deal of a lifetime, and I think if people shop around and will accept a little bit of use on a tool, I think you'll be very happy with it. And I think you'll probably see more use on a black tool versus the silver tool. So if you're buying one for somebody and you don't want it to look used at all, maybe get the silver tool, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think these are both great tools. In a heartbeat, to spend an extra $22 to get a real Leatherman, there's no question about it. Even if you have to save up for an extra month or two to save up the $22, I get it. People are on a budget. I am not rich. I didn't want to spend $120 just for a multi-tool that, yeah, I'm gonna use it all the time. I use my multi-tools, but $120, I have all the tools I need for the most part in a big toolbox in my garage. But to be able to take this with me all the time, definitely worth it. Now, $40 versus $62, I understand the price difference. I'm not belittling anybody for not wanting to spend the extra $22, but you're getting a tool that will probably last a lifetime and maybe 2 lifetimes, handing it down to the kids, maybe a grandkid. I love these tools both, but I have to lean to the Leatherman just because it was only $22 more. I got it for $62 versus $120. So shop around, spend the time, and get a really good used Leatherman off eBay if need be. And I think I'm so much happier that I did that. I'm so happy I didn't spend $120 on this and I only spent $62. I think anybody would be okay spending $40 on this, though I really think it should be in the $30s. Based on the other tools that are out there, like from Byberry, I suggest going out and carrying a multi-tool with you every single day. I know I do. When I walk out my front door, I have a multi-tool with me. Usually it's a small SOG Power Pint. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to help me grow the channel. And if you feel like picking one of these up, I'll have the link to both in the description below. And if you buy off Amazon, I get a couple of cents. Thanks for watching.